year with a down. Meg left. A BX 16 valve, a BX GTI 16 valve that I really liked, but there was just too much going on at the time. And so I made the decision to sell Meg, and Meg has not found the happy home that I was hoping, and I'm quite disappointed about that. But, you know, there's nothing you can do. If you're going to sell a car, you have to accept that it may not go where you want it to go. And then to compound things, the Cecily videos stopped. I know some people watch the Cecily videos, I know some people like the Cecily videos. I can't imagine a huge amount of people do, but some do, and they stopped as well. And that's kind of my fault, just really because I filmed them in quite a bad way. As in, I filmed everything that I did. So there are hours and hours and hours of meaningless guff to sift through to edit them into anything remotely usable. But the footage is all still there, and I will do it. I've said I will before, and I will again. It's just it takes so long to do that when you're really busy, that's the worst video to do. And unfortunately, I'm always busy. But it's another down, I'm afraid. The Cecily video stopped. But following Cecily, there was a positive. It's an up. The Betty Diaries hit the channel. The Betty Diaries followed Cecily, and the Betty Diaries are an up. That is a success. Okay, they came slightly later than they were supposed to, but they did arrive. And this documented everything I kind of managed to shoot when I actually started the channel, documenting how I helped Ian bring Betty over from New Zealand to the UK. And yeah, it was a fun time actually. It was good. It was good. It was good to see the car leave. No, sorry, that's me. It was good to see him reunited with the car. Then, following that, in April, I bought my third SM. Right. That's an up. Yeah. It's actually one of the lowest rated videos I've made in terms of viewer to satisfaction. Likes versus dislikes. And I can only assume that the people who click and dislike, other than the odd weirdos who click dislike on every video, are people who don't know what April Fool's is. I suppose really 2022 was the C6 this year. It's the year that the car got introduced to the channel and has to date been the most successful video I've done in terms of numbers or what other metric people use. It also did an unexpected trip to France, and where it was not prepared at all to do the journey, was carrying a number of problems, a number of issues, and didn't complain in 38-degree heat for a week, doing about 1,500 miles. It's had a brilliant year. Okay, it didn't drive on 3 wheels. I don't think that overwrites everything it's done well. Or does it? Can I forgive it? I came to a realisation the other day that it wasn't really the sensible car to be using, but there have been some changes since I did that video, and at the moment I'm still using it. And to be honest, I kind of love it. I really do. It's great. You know when you do a toilet and no matter how many times you flush, sometimes there's always a bit that won't flush away. Anyway, on a completely unrelated note, this is Betty. Following the C6's introduction, Betty returned and the C6 left. So just after I got the C6 on the road again and I was really happy, I had to lend it to someone. And that someone was Hubnut, who took it away and then couldn't figure out if he liked it or not. But I had Betty. And I had Betty here actually at a rather good time because the weather was very hot and Betty's aircon was very good. So yeah, Betty was here for some remedial work, some bits and bobs, but there were some issues with the parts. It all went a bit, what do you say, Hubnut? And yeah, Betty was here for quite a long time, it turned out. So yeah, I don't envy him with his fuel bill at all. 2022 was also a year for Hilda. Was it an up or a down year? Well, it was a bit of both, because there were a series of videos, and believe it or not, there was actually quite a lot going on that I was filming, where I was trying to get this thing ready to go for a track day at Goodwood. And I did, against the odds really, get it ready. So it was an up. Only the track day lasted 5 laps, and then the gearbox expired at turn 1. so that was a down. So it's kind of up and down, which means it's probably on the right channel. Following Hilda's race to Goodwood, we had Festival of the Unexceptional. But I drove up there in a BX GT, not a BX I own, a BX my dad owns, one that I kind of did a light makeover for him on many years ago. And that was a lovely trip. It was a real nice drive up there. It was a very comfy car. Long old journey from here, probably about 180 miles, something like that. Each way. Yeah, great time. Good event. I did a bit of filming, met up with people I didn't know were going to be there. Alex was up there. Yeah, it was a good time. Enjoyed that show. That's enough. 2022 will be a notable year for me because it is the year of Clement. It is not a car, it is Clement. Yeah, Clement joined the ranks. This was not a planned thing. This was not something I had planned to happen, and well, to be honest, it makes no sense. It would have made more sense to not have this problem, but I have a DS-shaped problem with filler. Last video on Clement was unveiling this. If you've not seen that video, this will be a spoiler for you, but yeah, I mean, you can kind of guess, and yeah, the subsequent videos will be what the hell to do with that and how do I sort that out. I do still want this on the road in 2023. Might have to abandon some of my plans to make it look concours underneath. I don't think that's going to happen because I've got to put a lot of time into this. Of course, Clement is the precursor to this. This is it. This is Genesis. This is where the channel started and ultimately where it will end, because yeah, this will probably take quite a long time to do. Basically, yeah, this is not really progressing. It's a combination of things. I would say that 2022 is a down year technically. There's a fair bit in it. I've got a lot of overwhelm going on. Obviously, there are a lot of projects going on. People will be quick to point out, well, you're taking more things on. Well, I'm not taking more things on. Other than Clement, everything else is already here. And in fact, if you take away Clement, I've got rid of 2 cars this year, in Meg and the Fox. And then next year, we'll probably be getting rid of the other BX, the Mark 1. But there are some things I want to do first. There are some boxes I want to tick. Some personal boxes. And I want to... I'll never get a chance to do that again because I won't find another one of those. So yeah, I would quite like to sign off on that one, and there are a few little jobs that needs doing as well. Not going to do everything, obviously. The next owner can do whatever that is, but if you want to be the next owner of that car, give me a shout. Let me know. Put your name in the running. But yeah, I do have a bit of overload going on, and then with this car, there's a fair bit of kind of overwhelm as well, because you look at it and you go, wow, okay. And it is just nuts and bolts, but it's not just simply taking things apart and putting them back together. I haven't got a problem with that. My issue is I don't want to take it all apart and then forget how to put it back together the way it's meant to be. So like, I might take all the fuel hoses out or this LHM pipe or whatever and then put it all back together again and rig it all up and have it running, but I haven't routed it the way it's meant to be routed, and that means that it either looks wrong, which would really irritate me, or it would potentially rub through something and leak, that kind of thing. And I want to know these cars better before I do that. Now, I'm never going to get to know these cars better because I'm not going to be taking another engine bay apart, but working on the DS has given me, well, it's given me insights already into how some of this stuff works. The seats come out in the same way in this that they did in that, so I know how those are going to come out, which means I could probably do that sooner rather than later. But yeah, I mean, it's knowing where to start, and I don't want to go tearing it all to pieces and then winding up with a car that is in bits and I have either run out of motivation or knowledge or enthusiasm or whatever to put back together. So the thing is to wait until I'm fully there and I'm going to be like, yes, I'm on that. Because I started doing this car and I was just steam cleaning the door cards and things like that to see whether I need to get them retrimmed. Well, of course I'm going to need to get them retrimmed. Why, you know. the main thing with this car is going to be rust. It's not actually going to be the engine, it's going to be rust. It is very rusty. I've seen some videos and pictures on Facebook of some other people working on theirs, and they're doing good work, but it makes you realise just how involved this is going to be. But I will get there, you know. I'm really looking forward to it. It's my dream car, and I don't think I'll be happier. I'll have peaked when this is on the road. I think it'll just be peak existing. So yeah, the SM is not forgotten. It really isn't forgotten. It plays on my mind every day, actually. But I'm getting closer, but I'm just not quite there. I need to be in that position where I'm happy just to go ripping into it and go for it. And life has got quite hectic this year. Been posed with other challenges other than, you know, away from the cars. There have been other problems and issues, and if it's not one thing, it's something else, and it doesn't stop coming. So I need to be mentally there. I need to be fully committed and able to do it, and I think I will be. But yeah, I'm not gonna, you know, I have to resist the urge sometimes to just get in and just start pulling things apart. Really, I shouldn't have done that with the wings, looking at it, but I wanted to know what it was like. Now I wish I didn't.
Another positive, it seems a little bit mean-spirited to call it a positive, but the Fox left, because to be honest, I could not even begin to think why I bought it in the first place. And I'm not knocking Fox people, we all like what we like, but the more I looked at the thing, the more I thought, I can see why they didn't sell many of them. Because it's kind of hopeless, really. For what it was, you could just buy a Fiesta van. Not entirely sure why I went through. I think at the time it made sense, but it's one of those man logic things where you decide something makes sense and then try and come up with a logic behind it. And that's how I ended up with the Fox. And I managed to sell it, and I lost some money, but yeah, it is what it is.
The Chimera has featured little this year. In fact, has it featured at all? Don't think it has. Quite simply, I haven't really done much. I have actually made some progress with the car, and there are some unreleased bits of footage to show you what I've achieved so far, but it's not a huge amount. The plan is still the same, to try and get it up and running and make it roadworthy, get it MOT'd, all that kind of thing. Drive it, and then at some point it will need the full resto. But yeah, that hasn't happened yet, much to my wife's dismay, because this is the only one she wants on the road. Tomato isn't my car at all. Belongs to a marginally more successful YouTuber than me, but I have been doing videos on it. I have been documenting the work I've been doing, and I will be documenting further work I'm doing. It's coming on okay, taken a little while to get here, but progress is now being made, and I'm quite pleased with how it's coming out. Yeah, so it's not my car, but I'm kind of in it's in my care. So yeah, I'd say an up year for the Tomato, because it's fallen in good hands. The owner of this car, who you kind of know, is doing right by this car, and I think it's got a nice long-term future. 2022 is also the year of the Tractiva. Yes, this is the machine that I'm going to use to drive around various racetracks and fulfill all my dreams. Not yet, admittedly. It'll be a little while, but it will happen. I wonder if it starts. What do you reckon? Should we try? Obviously we're going to try, because I brought the keys out. Oh, nope. Nope. Ah. Oh, what's that smell? Right. Place your bets. Cold start. This is going to be, I don't know how long it was. It has got a charger on it, so it's not got a flat battery. It's got mould in it. Go on. Shame you made a rust. And of course, any roundup of 2022, from my point of view, wouldn't be complete without mentioning that bit as well. The live stream, which happened only, just over a month ago, for Sophie's Legacy charity, took place here. Although it's a lot more echoey now. Can't think why. So yeah, I mean, that was just, that was just the biggest thing I've ever done, if I'm honest, and it was to raise the amount of money that we did, and it has climbed since then, and as it should, because the charity didn't just last one night and day. When I was doing a live stream, it lasted, well, it still lasts now. It's still going. They're still doing this work. There are still sick kids in hospitals and parents that need looking after. It's an ongoing thing, and that charity needs support, you know, as an ongoing thing. And for that reason, I will be doing the same thing again next year. In 2023, I'll do it again. I might not do it in the winter. It might be slightly earlier, but yeah, we will do it again. And, you know, as Charlotte Vowden, one of the guests, suggested, you should do a meetup where everyone who was involved gets together. I want to adorn all the YouTube channels, stickers from the YouTube channels across the back window of Clement. You know, it was I would say it was a one-off thing, but it's not going to be a one-off thing. I'm going to do it again because it needs to keep being done, and other people should try and do things as well. You know, to try and raise money for these excellent causes, these worthy causes. And the fact that I just got to sit in the back of a Citroen DS while I did it is, yeah, that's a bonus, I suppose. It is quite comfy. Getting deja vu sat here at the moment. But yeah, I mean, what more can I say? That went amazingly well, and I'm just so happy to have been able to do something for a charity as important as that. And then, you know, to add to that, there's another company local to here who buys scrap cars, who raised the same figure, pretty much, in fact a little bit more, I think, like a week later, something like that. So I mean, think of the difference that's going to make. So yeah, that was probably the highlight of 2022. Automotive highlight would probably be the C6. I think the C6 wins this one, just because it's just got in and just not moaned. It's just got on with it, despite the fact it's carrying various ailments. But Clement obviously deserves a place for existing, really, for surviving the bodgery. Oh, there's a hole there as well, I've just noticed. So yeah, that doesn't really remain much more for me to say other than thanks. Thanks for watching, thanks for indulging, thanks for being a part of all of this. And yeah, I'll try and hopefully keep carrying on doing it next year. And, you know, hopefully it's a better year for everyone. Even if you've had a good year this year, nothing wrong with hoping that next year is going to be even better. This year, you know, as I say, for me, up and down. But hopefully next year will be an improvement. I'm not going to hedge my bets. So yeah, thanks very much. Enjoy the New Year's, whatever you're doing.